Hi, my name is Nicholas Malone, and if you've been wondering who is behind all the social media at Foxen Coffee, that would be me. How all of this got started. The comics kind of evolved out of something that I wasn't planning to do. I did a little bit of research on what everybody else was doing, and I found that everybody was doing kind of all the same thing. And so I thought I wanted to do something a little different and be unique because I'm like, if we're going to get noticed, we got to do something different. We can't just do the same thing everybody else is doing. So obviously, I love comedy and I love making people laugh. I started getting into the generative AI with that, and I started really liking the generative AI. I thought it was really fun, and it was this like technology that was just an emerging technology. So there's no instructions on how to do it or what to do, and so I thought, I wonder if I can use this technology to help me create comics and continue to evolve the content strategy that we're using, and the strategy is just make people laugh. Starting a new business and a startup business, there's just like nothing. There's no like routine. There's like constant new challenges that we have to overcome, and it gets really chaotic because there's always something new happening and a new challenge to overcome, and it can get a little overwhelming, and it gets really hard because I have nothing to ground me. But I found like every week I sit down on the weekend and I spend a whole day making the comics for the week and making the content on social media for a week. And I found that to be something that grounds me and brings me back to like, this is a routine. I do this every week and I never miss it. And I haven't missed it for years. And that is something that's been really fun for me. I want to see the characters really start evolving, like starting to get to know who Foxen is as a actual character. And if you haven't noticed, like I've been adding new characters into the mix. So one of the characters that you might have noticed that's popping up a lot more recently is the bunny rabbit. And I really like the bunny rabbit and the fox. I really like how those characters mesh well together, because when I put them together, I think of like how these animals behave and interact with each other in the wild. And obviously, like the fox and the rabbit it's a predator and prey relationship. And I like to play off of that a little bit in the comics, and like the predator and prey and how they're getting along, how they're coexisting in their environment and finding coffee as like a common ground. I think it's fun. And so you'll see the rabbit start showing up a little bit more. And I've also been adding raccoons. I think raccoons are just really cute and they're fun to add in there. And I see the raccoon as being like a barista. I put the raccoon as a barista a lot. And the bunny is more like one of the fox's friends that just like pops in every once in a while. And then I also want to start bringing in some bears and wolves and other animals that I think will mesh well with the brand and have like a good engagement with the fox. So there's a lot of new characters coming in, and I want to see the characters evolve and like really start to get some kind of like a story behind them. We also want to make more professional content too. So it's not just going to be just comics and just cartoons and things like that. As much as I love that kind of content, we do also want to do professional content too. So we're still going to keep doing information about all the different coffees that we're bringing in, where these coffees are coming from, the different farms, the different producers, the different processing methods, because there's just so many ways to produce coffee. And to me, I think that's so interesting. You may have seen our comics and our social media, but you might be wondering, well, who actually is Foxen Coffee? Foxen Coffee is a small family-owned business, and what I mean by that is the Foxen Coffee is literally me, my mom, and my dad. Our experience in the coffee industry is pretty extensive. I have been around the coffee industry my entire life. I was born in 1988, and my dad started a coffee company called Plantation Coffee, which was a coffee shop in Northern California. And he started that with his brothers. So they had a coffee shop. And when I turned about 5 years old, my dad started roasting. and they split the company into two different companies. So it was the coffee shop side and then the roasting and wholesale side. And so my dad took over the roasting and wholesale side, and then my uncle kept going with the coffee shop side. So that kind of just continuously evolved until we eventually moved to Southern California. And then my dad started another coffee roasting company that was just wholesale only. So that was when I was like in middle school and into high school. And so I was really more involved with my friends and skateboarding and just having fun. I wasn't really involved in the day-to-day coffee operations, but this was my whole parents' livelihood. That was what was supporting our whole family, was the coffee roasting business. So we've been doing this forever. And this is the next iteration. The passion will come through in the coffee. I want people to walk in the door and have a good time, because I think that will transcend into the quality of our products. Like, if you really love being here, you're going to want to produce a great product. So that's part of it. It's not just about buying great coffee. It's also about having great people. There's a lot of layers in the supply chain, in the coffee supply chain. And one thing that we would like to do at Foxen Coffee is break down those layers. We want to become the source of trust. And so how are we going to do that? We're going to go all the way through the supply chain and show you ourselves, so that you don't need to trust things like the FDA or the EPA or all these three-letter agencies. We would like to create an environment where you can trust us to bring you ethical and good quality products.